Shavua Tov Umvorach, everyone. I hope you had a good Shabbat. I hope you enjoy the families. Tonight, I want to share with you a story for some chizuk for this upcoming week. Haba'a alenu letova, or besorot tovot, for refuah shelema, parnasa tova, shalom bayit, nachat from our children, and only good things. And the story starts with one name, Yaakov Citron, Jacob Citron. Yaakov Citron was a soldier in 3 wars, and he fought by Tzahal in 1967 in the Six-Day War, 1973 Yom Kippur, and even in June 1982, the famous Lebanon War, first one called the Milchemet Shlom HaGalil. And as he was with his units in the tank along the coast of Lebanon, they suddenly see Israeli vehicle in a moment of war where they are under fire, and they can see from far that it's a mitzvah truck from Chabad. You know those trucks that they're going around with the music, and they come out with the tefillin. And as soon as the truck sees the unit, they go to them. The Chabad Hasid comes out and he tells them, guys, I'm here to help you. I have tefillin for everyone. Please put them on. Yes, we'll have zechuyot and mitzvot to keep you safe during the war. They can't believe it, but they can't say no. And they all put on tefillin that day. And they're so happy, they feel so blessed, and the unity is so strong that they start dancing together. It's an unbelievable and unforgettable moment that they spend together. After a while, they continue their routes, and they travel further towards Beirut. And as they get closer, the bombing gets really, really strong, and they need to find some kind of refuge. And they are about 23 kilometers away from Beirut in a city called Bamdoun. Bamdoun, which, by the way, had a beautiful Bet Knesset built in 1922. I was looking online at the pictures, hundreds of seats. Amazing, a massive Bet Knesset that was unfortunately destroyed on the inside. The outside is still intact, but the inside is unfortunately all destroyed. You can see pictures that I can share with you afterwards about the royal blue paint of the Hechal. There is a bima there. It's just such a hard feeling to see a beautiful Bet Knesset who was destroyed like that. And they hide in the stadium in Bamdoun, waiting for the come. And as they are there, a lady comes in towards the soldiers. They can't believe it. The lady comes and she tells them, are you guys Jewish? You look Israeli. She said, yes. He said, I need help. You need help? Who are you? And she says, I'm Jewish too. I need help because we need to renovate our mikveh. In our town of Bamdoun, we have Jewish women. We need a mikveh. They can't believe it. This is Chabad first. Now there's a woman, something is going on. And they all direct her to Jacob. Jacob, who was the most religious Hayal in that unit. And as much as he's trying to convince her maybe to go back to Eretz Israel, to live there, she says, look, we used to live in Beirut, now we live in Bamdoun, it's too much moving. We just need your help. Can you help us? And he says, I'm a religious man, but I don't know the halachot, and right now on the fire, it's so hot. I don't know how to help you. And they stay in that stadium for about 2 weeks. And then finally they get replaced with another unit, so they go back towards Eretz Israel. So they travel south. And on their way, who do they see again? The Chabad truck, the mitzvah truck. And Jacob says to his unit, guys, let's just wait a moment. This lady is still in my head. I need to ask maybe the Hasid of Chabad, maybe he can help her. And he goes to the Chabad Hasid, oh, how you doing? It's good to see you. So there is a lady in Bamdoun, and she needs help with the mikveh. Maybe you guys can do something. You guys are rabbis. Maybe you can have some kind of influence. And the Hasid Chabad said, oh, okay, let's see, I'll try. Jacob goes back to Eretz Israel, and he moves on with his life. He marries off his children. Baruch Hashem, they are all in the way of Torah. Some of them are in Kolelim. But he still has this story in the back of his head that he cannot forget. He knows that a few months later, all the cities around Beirut were destroyed. The bombing was very, very difficult. many casualties on the Lebanese side, and they were Jews. He has no idea what happened to her. And he always has this hard feeling. As he goes on with his life, he takes his sons to the kollel with their friends. That's what he was doing. He had a van and he would give them the chesed to escort them to the kollel. And one day, he sees an ad in the street about collecting funds, tzedakah, for building a mikveh in the shchuna, in the neighborhood. And he can't take his eyes off the ads. And the avrechim in the van are asking him, is everything okay? I mean, we have tzedakot every day. Collection is not something that is missing in Eretz Israel. And he tells them, yeah, but this one is special to me. And he tells them the story. He tells them the story as he's driving them to the mikveh, to the kollel. And one of the boys says to Jacob, you know, I'll tell you something. I am Lebanese myself. My parents came from Lebanon. Maybe I could ask them. They live like really 3 minutes away. Maybe I'll ask them. And they decide, all of them, to go and find out. Maybe something will come out. And as they're driving to his house, the boy says, I'm going to call my mother and maybe we'll talk together. Goes upstairs, comes back downstairs with his mother, and Yaakov cannot believe his eyes. This is the lady that came to the soldiers years ago in the stadium asking for help for the mikveh. And Baruch Hashem, she's alive. He cannot control his emotion and he starts crying and he runs there and he says, do you recognize me? She's not sure. She says, I am the soldier that you asked for help for the mikveh, remember? She said, wow, thank you so much. He said, what do you mean thank you so much? I didn't help you and I feel so bad until today that I couldn't help you. Please tell me, how are you here? It's so good to see you. She tells him, I thank you because you saved my life, you saved my family's life, you saved everybody in the village. So what happened? He said, we had a Hasid Chabad who came a few days after you left. And he helped us. He helped us to renovate the mikveh. He put us in contact with the rabbi, the chief rabbi of Tzfat. His name was Rabbi Levi Bistritsky, who passed away in 2002. And he did everything possible to help those Lebanese Jews to have their mikveh. Not only that, they built a relationship together. They were in contact, in touch, to the point that Sukkot of 1982, he said, you know, it's not safe. I'm going to pay tickets to everyone to go and see the Rebbe of Lubavitch in New York. You're going to spend Sukkot in New York City with the Rebbe of Lubavitch. How about that? And they all said, yes, sure. And they traveled to New York and they spent Sukkot there. They had an amazing Sukkot. And in the end, before they left, they went to see the Rebbe for a personal blessing. And the Rebbe told them, I want you to change your tickets. You're going back to Eretz Israel. You're not going to Lebanon. You're not going back to Bamdun. They look at the Rebbe and said, what do you mean? We have houses, we have businesses, we have everything there. We can't just leave. He said, I forbid them to go back. Go straight to Eretz Israel. Do your aliyah. And as hard as it was for us, says the lady, we listened and we took our ticket to Eretz Israel. It was very difficult. Me and my family had such a hard time in the beginning. But when we watched the news, September 16 to September 18, right after Sukkot, the massacres of Sabra and Shatila, where hundreds, if not thousands of people died, and the bombing got worse than before. Most of our village was destroyed. People died here and there. And we understood the bracha that we received from the Rebbe that was actually to save our life. And you, my friend Jacob, are the reason that we are here today, because you are the one who helped us by telling the Chabad people to come to us and to help us with the mikveh. We developed the relationship, and this is how we got saved. So me, her name was Mazal Luzia, and my family have you to thank for that. And they're crying together, and you cannot believe. What a beautiful story. The story that is definitely telling us about the importance of listening to our Hachamim, to our rabbis, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is putting the right words in their mouth to guide us and help us and save us. But there is another lesson. We learn in Pirkei Avot, Heveratz mitzvah kala kevachamura, she'i ata yodea matan tzecharan shel mitzvot. Run after a small mitzvah just like a big mitzvah, because you don't know what is the reward that will come out from the small mitzvah. Sheschar mitzvah, mitzvah. Uschar avera, avera. Maybe the small mitzvah is a gate for you to open to a huge mitzvah that's coming after. And that's exactly what happened in the story. Both from the Hasid side, who decided to put on tefillin to the soldiers, he basically was able to open the mitzvah of saving someone's life. And even Jacob Citron, who only stopped for a moment to ask for help from the Chabad, this is what he could do. But he was the Shaliach Ne'eman to save this woman, her family, and have her children learn Torah. How many zechuyot from that tiny act that he did? And I think this is a really good lesson to remember also for us. As we are Bezrat Hashem coming this week, we're going to have opportunities to do big mitzvot or smaller ones. We cannot neglect also the small acts. Something small, something tiny, if it's a phone call, a compliment, 2 minutes learning something, a moment of stronger kavanah in my tefillah, a moment that I hold my mouth, I'm saying something bad. These tiny things are not to be neglected. There are ways that HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us more opportunity to do more mitzvot, and we don't know what is going to take us. On this, I wish you all Shavua Tov, a good week, an amazing one, with only good things for you, our families, and all Am Yisrael. Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon.